Let's leave Lagos, Nigeria now to Abuja. Yemi, what crucial. I don't think we've played any game as important as this one coming up on the 25th in the last 2 years, as this one coming against Egypt. And Coach Samson Siasia is impressed with the team he has on ground, talking about the home-based Super Eagles teams. And for Nigerians, they don't want to know, just give us results.
Oh, else you'll be in trouble.
Wow.
the roof will come crashing down. I don't think the NFF even understands how big this is. Every one of us know it's an uphill task, really, but it's something that we can do if we put our minds to it. I don't think there's, in recent times, well, you could talk about the game against Guinea, but the difference in those two scenarios, we didn't see what happened against Guinea. None of us saw it coming.
That's right.
None of us.
Okay.
You know, and but in this case, I mean, 6-time African champions. Forget about whatever has happened to them in the last 4 years.
But that we can bank on that small. We just look at it as if they've not really been consistent.
That's the only thing that could give you confidence. Well, and some people will also tell you that the Egyptians themselves are actually afraid of us. But you know, we have met our match. Let me put it that way. We have met a team. I mean, no matter what Swaziland does to us, you know, at the end of the day, even if it's the 93rd minute, we'll get something. But Egypt, it's not like that. You have to do your homework. A lot of things have to go your way against the Egyptians. But I'm hoping that Samson Siasia will be able to put a team together before then. I'm hoping that one or two things that he's doing will not backfire. He's trying to instill discipline. Everybody loves discipline, but sometimes we also need to know how to manage.
Because I'm sure you remember the story from 2012.
Even 2011. The issues we had with some key players of the senior national team, Vincent Nyama, I think John Mikel Obi, as one or two other players, the issues he had with them at that point. And some people still believe maybe that's why we didn't qualify for the Nations Cup. But I hope history will not repeat itself.
Right.
I hope that the players will be focused on the task.
Yeah.
And whatever measures the coach is taking to instill discipline in the team will not backfire, and at the end of the day we'll smile, because the first part of the job is on March 25. If we get it right, then we can talk about Cairo. But now nobody's even talking about Cairo, because we have to get it right in Kaduna.
To pass this first order.
And if we do that, then we're still in it.
Femi, Coach Samson Siasia says is cool with the quality of the home-based players that have already turned up in camp. As Yemi said, discipline is the watchword right there. Everybody, you know, going careful and rest. But with the quality of the home-based Eagles that you've seen, do you think they can be any match of the foreign professionals when they come in?
Oh well, we'll watch. Enough we will see, you know, in the coming days. But I want to say I like the fact that, you know, a whole lot of the big players, foreign-based players, have shown solidarity to the coach. You know, in the statements here and there, saying, of course, they're coming home to ensure that, you know, they get business done, which is what they should do. But I think. It's actually difficult, you know, in the sense that this time we know it is make or ma. You know, it's win or win. You know, anything short of a win, you know, is disaster. You know, in honest truth, you know, in that game. So I'm sure the coach will be thinking, you know, the best he can. He'll be calling all the resources he can gather from all his lieutenants, you know, here and there, on selecting the best team that would play in the game. I for one, I have confidence in some of the local based players. You know, I've seen them play before, and I really respect what they bring to the game, you know, regardless of the fact that they are not playing, you know, outside of the shores of the country. And I know they can do it if they're given enough faith. And with some of the other guys coming from abroad, coming into the team, I'm sure they also, with their leadership, will be able to give some of those guys, you know, enough confidence, you know, to step up into the plate against Egypt. Also, let's not forget the Egyptian team is a relatively home-based side.
Yeah.
So I don't think there'll be any inferiority complex, so to speak, in the sense that you're playing, you know, guys who are almost of the same, you know, category, if you want to put it that way. Home-based, we are home-based. So even if majority of our players are home-based, I'm just saying, you know, for that game. So I really think there's really not much, you know, to use to separate, you know, the quality of players that would play. At the end of the day, what matters most is the kind of players that have their head in the game, who are really matured enough to stand the pressure of ensuring that
right.
all we get is the win. And I'm sure that's what Coach Samson Siasia is actually looking at. The players will be able to keep their head and keep the focus, ensuring we get the right result.
Even with your analysis, they're already feeling the pressure to win because you're making it obvious that it's a win or a win. But yeah, we spoke to Odioni Yalo. He says, look, we're ready. We like this coach. We'll play with this coach. Remember, he has played with the coach at the under-20 level. We spoke, that's right. We spoke with Ogenye Onazi, same thing. Said, look, we like this coach. We'll play with this coach. That can count for something for Nigeria.
It should, but I'm not carried away. When a new coach comes, all those players sit up. I won't be surprised if all of them start coming on Sunday. I won't be surprised. That's what usually happens. A game or two under the coach's belt, then everybody begins to show their true color. It should count for something. Those players know that their market value will go down if you're not playing in the Nations Cup. That's the pinnacle of African football.
Particularly when it's a back-to-back means for Nigeria.
It says a lot. Yeah. It says a lot. And so I'm very sure they want it more for Nigeria and for themselves. So I understand that they will have to put their best. I'm not really worried per se. I'm just hoping that we'll get to a stage where we won't have to be calling for 40-plus players. I'm just hoping, because whenever I bring that issue up, or whenever, even in our private discussions, a lot of people would say, oh, you need to have those number of players because there's a transition. And I'm saying, when will we end this transition? If you spend a lot of money to bring 20 foreign-based players, I have a feeling that the 20 of them would make it, because you've spent huge money to bring them down here. I'm just thinking out aloud anyway. But I'm hoping after this double header, we'll be able to now streamline and this X amount of players on the domestic scene, X amount of players. I still think 40 plus is too much, but it's excusable in this scenario. But from here on, I hope, especially now when you're complaining about lack of funds, I'm thinking the common sense approach will be maybe 10, 12, especially when you know those who you really want, not that you're bringing somebody all the way from England to come and see how good he is here in Nigeria.
That's right. And that's what we're trying to do with the Channels National Kids Cup. Do everything properly here. You don't have to chase 100 and eBay that the UK system has polished, has helped, and then you say, come and play for this country. You won't need to start.
What makes me sad? Every time we're watching European football and you see someone that has something close to a Nigerian name, everybody goes crazy.
I know, everybody wants him to play for the team right away.
They want to check, where is it from? The nationality, does he have dual nationality? Has he pledged his allegiance to this? All of those things.
I keep asking the question, baby, who did we get from London in 1980 squad, 1994? Even when Ruben Agbola was playing for this country, it was because of his allegiance. He loves the country. And then they accepted. But now we pay so much money to go visit players that have a little bit of Nigerian descent and start almost appealing, begging.
It's actually a fallout of our lack of planning in the past, in the real sense of it. Because we got to a point where we now lack the stars to actually, play for Nigeria, and we wanted to get, the best possible legs who were not, seen as easily as we used to see them, before. So the best thing you could do was try to look for, the best big thing, so to speak, that you will see, on the TV screen that you think can play, football, because we're not actually getting the best quality that we're getting before. And as a result of the fact that we're not building, we're just picking, players to play these age grade competitions to win, and not to develop them for the future. Look at the number of names that we've produced in the last 3 under-17 tournaments.
Yes.
Let's even do a statistical check, on these players. How many of them have been able to get to the team B, of any of these big clubs in Europe? Wow. But look at the German squad, look at the Spanish squad, look at the French squad, and look at the players, breaking all the goal scoring records and the clean sheets and the defensive records in France, in Germany, in England, in Spain. You don't need to be told, where they came out from.
Well, I think that issue is a lot deeper than the way you just put it, because going to Europe doesn't favor African players, and we have to be honest about it. Players of European descent will survive, even if they're not as good as their African counterparts because things favor them. But the point I wanted to make while Femi was speaking, as we leave these issues, that even the days when you go and beg Jordan eBay, Jordan Hype, whichever way, those days are coming to an end because these guys are smarter now. Once they look at someone that has dual nationality, they ensure that he plays for the Three Lions. Before you think of getting Dele Alli, they will make sure he plays for them. Down. So all of those things, they're coming to, because they have seen. The former Three Lions coach, was it Fabio Capello, told them about Victor Moses. They didn't listen. Even France now is looking at ways to cut down on the money they use to train players of African descent, because they know they spend all their money, and the guy is 21 and he says, oh, I heard my mom is from Mali. I'm going there. I'm going there. Because I have a chance. So that's the story. We had to switch from talking about the game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Pharaohs of Egypt. We went back to the basics, that for football in any country, not just Nigeria, to thrive, we must give attention to grassroots football development. And that's the story of what's going on right here in Nigeria.